probably be over there if you wanted.
All right. It's here. the sound of Friday. And as Chris just posted, it's Beer 30. That's right.
Happy Friday,
Beer
everybody.
o'clock. And
Happy Friday.
Welcome to the Back Catalog Listening Party. I'm Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
I'm Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And we have some of the members, 4/5 of the of the band. Pert Near 3/5. 3. Yeah, I can count. 1, 2, 3. I haven't even had any
players. Does it take
to count?
I play 2 instruments, so I count as 2.
Yes. Anyway, joining us here on Back Catalog Listening Party from Pert Near Sandstone, and yes, we have Jay, Nate, and Kevin joining us from their respective homes. I think is it Nate? Are you the only one in a sunny, warm place today?
Yeah, although it's cloudy today for the first time in months. That's what we call weather here.
In Southern California. We don't have any sympathy right here in snowy Minnesota, I have to say.
No.
I do miss it, though. I wish I were there in the snow.
We're glad that you're here with us today for our... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask them what they're drinking.
Well, I have a coffee, and then I'm going to be transitioning into this coffee ale. And then if there's enough time, we'll just go straight to regular beer.
That's a good arc.
I'm ready to go. Down to the CVS. I got some multi-green kombucha. Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It looks like soy sauce, Nate.
It does a little bit. It tastes great.
I have coffee and I have this delicious beer.
Ooh, tell us about that. What are you drinking?
Way to go, Kevin.
Dare Mighty Things. I think it's out of Eau Claire, the brewing project.
Excellent.
That's good.
Nice.
And I am also doing a coffee and beer combo as well. And my beer is the Waconia Brewing Company. It's the chocolate peanut butter porter.
Ooh.
It's good for a cold day.
Speaking of winter beers, I'm going to Longmont, Colorado, a place that I spent many a year, to the Left Hand Brewery for one of their milk stouts, one of my favorite beers when the snow flies. I didn't think I'd be buying it this early, but here we are.
Exactly. And hello to Connie and Bev and Joe and Bevan and Alinda and Ann, all joining us today. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell us what you're drinking, how you're feeling, what the weather's like wherever you are tuned in from. I know we have some folks from Connecticut and different parts of Minnesota tuned in, and I'm guessing at some point Alan will join us from Texas, so we'll see what happens today. But we're so excited to have you guys here today. I can't remember the last time I've seen you. It's been a long time.
Been too long.
Yeah.
It has been, yeah.
And
I agree, Ann.
Yes. And we're so excited to talk about this record. This is your 2011 album, Paradise Hop, and this was really fun for me to revisit this week, and I can't wait to dive into it with you guys. Maybe for folks who are less familiar with Pert Near Sandstone, you can give us maybe a brief bio of the band and maybe where this album fits into your discography.
Yeah, does anyone want to take a shot at that? Well, I guess I can.
Nate?
I can say the three of us fellas up top here, Kevin, Jay, and myself, all went to high school together. So we have we're kind of basically at this point related. We've like exchanged enough body fluids through sharing whiskey bottles and whatnot. I think we're blood brothers. And
Nate's hair is almost back to high school standards. Actually, if you look at his hair,
true.
it's almost high school.
Beautiful curls.
Dark curls. But yeah, we went our separate ways during college and gallivanting around the country and met back up. Jay's free jazz band was playing at the Acadia Cafe where it was on Nicollet and East Franklin. And Ryan Young was in that band. I think Kevin was there hanging out. And it just kind of, we came to the realization that we were all playing acoustic music in our free time and decided to get together and play some tunes, and it just kind of stuck, and we've been doing it since. So we recorded 2 albums. We put out a live album in 2004, I think, or 2005. And then we recorded a couple albums Up and Down the River and Needle and Thread in Jay's basement, where he was living with Ryan Young at the time, who was currently a member of our band. And so this Paradise Hop is our first kind of real studio album. We went into, there it is, yep. We went into Wild Sound Studio.
You're ready. I have all these laying around. Look at that.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Jay would love to get rid
Still
of
in the packaging. I keep it in the packaging.
They're ballast for his garage as well right now. But so there we are in Wild Sound Studios. I think that might actually be Steve Call. I'm not sure this is when we
Steve Call?
Actually recording Paradise Hop, but we were in there with Matthew Zimmerman working on this album. And it was just a blast. We spent, I think we had maybe 9 recording sessions. We went in at some ungodly hour of the morning, hammered on coffee and record these tunes. And it's just great. We still play a lot of these songs currently, and it's been one of our favorite albums.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's been so great to revisit this tune, and it sounds so good. Like that studio is just a world-class studio with like the best mics and everything. And you put that together with, world-class musicians, and you've got something special. It sounds really, really good, and I'm super excited for those who haven't heard this album to hear it. So I think we should just jump right in because I want to get as much of this music in as possible. The first tune that we're going to listen to off this album is Okanagan Valley, and I'd love to know where this song came from.
Sure, that's another one that I will field because I wrote it, and I wrote this song about my time traveling around British Columbia when I was younger. This is now 20 years ago. I used to hitchhike around and hop some freight trains and found my way up to British Columbia on the Okanagan Valley, which is kind of leading into the Rocky Mountains as you go farther east. But this is just rolling beautiful hills with lakes and valleys and orchards everywhere. It's like the fruit bowl of Canada. And I met up with some friends. I met friends along the way as I was traveling and worked on cherry orchard and kind of did my hobo thing all around the area for like 3 months.
That's awesome. Yeah. You can hear it in the lyrics. It sounds very much like an old-timey tune, but it's got some truth in there.
Yeah, and I actually this is a song that we recorded. We first put out on Up and Down the River, our first basement studio album in 2000. I'll get the year 2007, and I recorded it for that project kind of as a tweener. And I was first learning how to play the fiddle at that time, and I think it's just me and maybe Ryan Young playing the mandolin and Kevin singing.
Yep.
And we just started playing it live after that and kind of created a new rendition that we recorded for Paradise Hop. So this is kind of the version we've been playing now for years.
Awesome. Well, let's give it a listen. This is Okanagan Valley by Pert Near Sandstone on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
takes a plane. Me, I'm gonna walk that road, get there just the same. Okanagan Valley, root beer's the lane. Work hard in the daytime and singing all the night. Okanagan Valley, never done me wrong. I'll sleep under a cherry tree, and I'm just working down.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that'll
right.
kick your heels up for that.
Yeah,
Get our
okay.
weekend started right. That was Pert Near Sandstone from their 2011 release, Paradise Hop. That was Okanagan Valley. And Gary was saying that makes him want to dance. And you guys should all feel free to dance at home because we can't see you. So, I
Yeah.
mean, make your own moves and dance steps. I was thinking, though, if you were actually trying to do like a contra dance or a square dance, that would be a pretty fast dance happening. Be
Yeah.
hard to
would be.
keep up.
Well,
Hard for any color.
Speaking of rhythm, one of the things I love about your music is the incorporation of this kind of like acoustic percussion, natural stuff. So I'm hearing some feet in there clogging away, and I swear on the liner notes I saw fiddlesticks listed as an instrument, and I guess I always just thought it was an old timey expression. But it sounds like it's a real thing. Can you talk a little bit about maybe the fiddlesticks and then about the clogging and percussion in general in your band? The rhythms are always so much fun.
Yeah, I think I think just hanging out with Andy Lambert, we got the idea. I think I had seen a video of somebody using pieces of straw to percussively, during a square dance. It's like a way you can percussively work an instrument while somebody is fiddling. And just had the idea. I think I got some Leanne Chin chopsticks and was like, "Hey Andy, try this out." And it just worked on the album really well, and we have pulled it off live several times. And
Made it sponsored by Leanne Chins, if anyone was asking.
man, would I go for some Leanne Chin right now?
But it is. I thought it was a made-up term too. I had no idea it was a literal thing. And then I thought these guys were messing with me too. But then, upon some further research,
Yeah, that's super cool. Well, and how about the clogging? You mentioned it was Andy. Like, has that been something that's part of the band since the very beginning, or did you guys start out without a clogger? Is that right?
Yeah, we started it without a bass player and without a clogger.
Without a banjo, even.
Kevin wasn't even.
What?
Whoa, that's an interesting piece of
Singing
trivia.
just that beautiful voice of his.
Probably
Just
like
had the microphone and the tambourine, and
very terrible dancing, which is why when we had the opportunity to have a clogger, there was a lot of nowhere to go but up, really, from what I was doing. But Andy and I had a mutual friend, and we happened to be at like a wedding or something some summer, and some version of Pig's Eye Landing was playing the wedding dance, and so among others, Jim Parker was there, and Andy and Jim live like across the alley from one another. So like small world getting smaller, and they did the wedding dance, and we stayed up all night playing music. And I had just recently gotten a banjo, and Andy had just recently, I think, started clogging with the Wild Goose Chase cloggers, and he has always wanted to be a drummer in a band his whole life, And he was like, "What kind of music are you guys playing?" And like maybe a week after we put together that we were playing that kind of music, and he was kind of wanting to, be dancing more than just what the cloggers were doing. He was with us, like, kind of joining us every time he could in town. And yeah, I mean, it's opened like a whole world of, the clogging and folk music scene in general. And Minneapolis is so rich. It's just like every time you think everything that happens here, like another layer unfolds, and you're like, wait, there's people that do what here?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember seeing, there's Julie Young, who played bass with the Ditch Lilies. She had,
Holler and
Yep, great caller. But she would occasionally clog for a tune during their sets, and that just blew us away. I was like, man, that'd be great to have that element in our group, and
Yeah.
it became an official position in the band.
There's something about it that I think just gets the crowd moving too. I mean, or even you at home, like hearing human footsteps or something. Man, my toes were tapping.
And I was thinking when we were listening to that tune in particular that the especially the feet and that the clogging, the percussion had a real train element. So it's funny that you were talking about your train travel, Nate, because I could really hear that in this song. Like it was really great. It was very evocative, and I love how you wove in all those sort of old folk lyrics into a new story of your own. And I feel like this song is so emblematic of what you guys do, bringing in these old traditions but mixing them up in a totally new way. So it's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, Ellen.
So I always have to ask, especially because I know the studio Wild Sound. They have this great big room, and recording studios for all the gear in the world. There's nothing like a really good room, and just because I know how acoustic you guys are on stage, oftentimes one mic and some instruments plugged in and stuff. What was the recording setup for this record? Were you guys all in the big room? Were you isolated? How did this record go down?
I believe we did most of the tracks all in the big room, and then isolated occasionally for vocals, and then solos, and then auxiliary people add on stuff. But for the most part, we did it as a unit. I think we isolated the banjo, whatever we possibly could around.
He was in the parking lot, I think.
The drummer of the acoustic band
somewhere else. Yeah, so we could handle that. But yeah,
I do remember actually being just on the other side of the door for some songs. Because they're all made of glass, and you can kind of like isolate,
and it was quite a step up from our previous albums we recorded in my basement. Which was nice because I could do my laundry at the same time. But
I remember, we had to dampen there's the ductwork in your ceiling. We had to try to.
Yeah, we taped a lot of rugs and things to things in my base. I still have those things taped up down in the basement, actually. So ready to go.
Needle and Thread we recorded in the winter, so we had to also turn the furnace off while we were recording.
That's true.
And I don't know if you're anywhere near the airport, but at least around here, it's also like, pause, airplane.
Yep, for sure. And if folks out there listening have questions about the recording of this album or any of the songs that we're talking about or listening to, feel free to throw them in the comments. Joe had mentioned, again, perfection on the rhythm, every instrument right in the pocket all the way through. So definitely cool to hear how you guys layered on stuff. I was curious when you were talking about how you met in high school, and you guys grew up around here, right? Around Minnesota?
Yeah, Brooklyn Park.
Northwest suburbs.
And you said when you met up again, you realized you were all playing acoustic instruments, which makes me think you didn't always all play acoustic instruments. So I want to know what other instruments you played in your past lives.
Well, I still play a lot of different instruments. I teach brass instruments. I teach trombone and trumpet. Well, trombone and trumpet, euphonium, and I teach guitar lessons and bass. But Ryan Young and I were playing in a lot of bands. We met first when we were in different heavy metal bands in different high schools. He was over in Maple Grove, and I was in Brooklyn Park, and we started a ska band together. So I was playing trombone, and he was playing guitar in a band called Lemon Merchants. If anybody remembers, probably not. I know that. Big bands. Kevin actually auditioned for vocals. He was my choice. I want to remind everybody.
Easy for you to say, Jay.
Kevin tried out for the vocals and he didn't make it, actually.
Yeah.
If only you had the banjo at that point.
Yeah. But I played in a lot of heavy metal and ska, and I still love heavy metal, ska, like a lot of different stuff, and a lot of different jazz. I mean, who hasn't gone through like their Ween phase, right? And so yeah, and actually, Kevin had moved in with our friend. Kind of around that time, and then we both started kind of doing some folky stuff just because Kevin was into the Neil Young and the Grateful Dead stuff, and big hippie that Kevin.
Well, those are gateway bands I've noticed into like bluegrass and old time.
Yeah. We learned that sense, like it's obviously everybody has to get that Jerry Garcia and David Grisman album.
Yes.
And then it's just all of a sudden it just opens the doors, and yeah, I'd never heard banjo music before that.
And then the next thing you know, you're writing train songs. It's like a just,
Exactly.
and then you're in. Yeah.
It's like a fever. It's like a fever.
And if you want to, to transition to the next one that you're gonna it's Appalachian Girl, right?
Yeah.
Appalachian, emphasis on Asian, not Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Maybe I would have written it that way had I known the other way of pronouncing it, but but yeah, I was
All
kind
the trouble you would have gotten into.
yeah. I was still even in 10 years ago, still very newer in this, this kind of genre. So, and I had been writing music for a long time, but I was kind of looking for ways to connect to this, more of this style. So we were down doing a tour, one of these, we haven't gone down south or southeast very often, but we were down that way, and I was just kind of thinking and getting some inspiration, and wrote this song, kind of just really not, well, my wife now will say that it's supposed to be pronounced European Girl because she's from the Netherlands. She's downstairs listening, so she can attack me at any time. But
the comments are wide open, by the way.
yeah, I tried to, switch it around, but it just really doesn't have the same flow as Appalachian Girl. And I can't say Appalachian because I just don't say that, and it doesn't feel right.
It's the local pronunciation for sure. It's how you pronounce it in
you bet.
Minnesota.
You were humiliated in front of millions of radio listeners.
Millions.
In Lexington, yeah.
In Lexington, Kentucky, where they did not like the pronunciation.
Well, yeah.
We had the conversation. We're like, this range goes all the way up into Pennsylvania, and I'm pretty sure up there they say it the way we say it. And so we live up there, so this is how we pronounce it. And from Minneapolis, Minnesota, with their song "Appalachian Girl."
Yeah.
It could have been like an interesting point of discussion for the radio program, but nope, it was just an insult.
We got scolded.
Didn't even want to acknowledge the fact.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think it sounds perfect pronounced that way. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's all. I just say, I've been told many times, it's wrong.
Well, it's
Okay.
right in all of our hearts.
Well, never did wrong sound so right. As you're going to hear as we listen to this song together. This is Appalachian Girl.
Oh yeah. We're almost done with our opera epic. It's called Oregon.
Oregon Trail.
The Appalachian Girl from Oregon. All right.
Yeah.
Appalachian Girl, Pert Near Sandstone, back catalog listening party.
Blow a kiss to the moon if you're lonely this June. I'll catch it in the southern sky. 'Cause here the stars are the same and my feelings won't change. I love you every day till I die. Appalachian girl, you're the only one I got in my eye. Appalachian girl, I love you every day till I die. Ooh.
Pert Near Sandstone with Appalachian Girl from their 2011 release, Paradise Hop. And that was another, I think now we're 2 for 2 for train songs on this, on the back catalog listening party today. Giving their folk and string band cred right there.
That's right.
And Liz Official says, European Girl, love it. It's true. You could substitute that in pretty easily. European Girl. Yeah. Yes.
I think you've actually even tried that one time, haven't you? We've.
He's
you're on
muted.
mute. Jay, you're muted.
Yes. It doesn't work. It just sounds like I'm saying that she's peeing.
Yeah.
You're a pea.
It doesn't seem,
True. Yeah.
which kind of loses the message.
Yeah.
Short-lived rendition.
Well, one thing that's always struck me about your band is just what an ensemble you are. It's the sum of its parts. It's greater than the sum of its parts, and all your voices have its own unique character, and yet they all kind of tie in together. So one of the things that I was thinking about when I was kind of revisiting this album was the writing process for you guys. Are you guys all in your individual houses, kind of with your notebook, got the whole tune, bring it to the band, or do you guys get together and kind of workshop that stuff together? What's the process like for you guys?
I'd say it's really a combo. For the most part, we're individual writing and then bringing those ideas to together. But there's a lot of stuff, like Kevin and I have workshopped a lot on things because he's much stronger at writing lyrics and I'm just so much stronger at writing music, so
It's beautiful. Where you going with that? Yeah, it's great.
So we work together. Like I help him put some chords. Like, here, throw this idea that, and Nate, we've come together and done a lot of like jamming and picking and working out his fiddle tune things and.
Yeah, or Jay, you'll throw like an interesting chord in a traditional, string band tune where you're like, yeah, that's cool, but what if we did this instead? Like you do just have because you were, a musician doing other things and came to this music kind of through the back door. Like you've got an interesting perspective, I think, on some of that stuff where it's like, oh, that's cool. We wouldn't have done that otherwise.
Adam would tell you that I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, and Adam's not wrong.
Old timey is not supposed to have that many chords.
But weren't you guys a new timey string band? Is that
exactly right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think about the aside from some of our past members, Adam Kiesling, who's more rigid in his old time approach to things. What I've really enjoyed about this band is our kind of openness to new ideas and the
Adam,
I think
Adam is definitely open to new ideas, but
oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Jay throwing in substitute chords on a song don't get crooked-eyed looks from the rest of us. And that's kind of like the organic organization of Pert Near Sandstone through the years, and various members has just been a willingness to try things and see what happens when we all take our influences and our particular styles and music likes and dislikes and mash them together. And I think our sound is the way we collaborate most is just by the stew that we are as a band, and it's kind of to see what happens when I write a song and I envision it totally different than what happens when Jay and Kevin and Justin are playing it, and it's great. Yeah. I love that it just has a life of its own in a way, a sound of its own.
Yeah.
And I do want to ask because, again, we're missing one of your members, Justin, who had to work and wasn't able to be with us today, who plays upright bass. But I want to make sure he gets a good shout out because he's also on this record as well. So, so that low end you're hearing is all Justin.
Actually, I think this record is.
Yeah. That's Adam Kiesling.
Right?
Oh, really? Oh, it's Adam on this record. Yeah. Okay, so never mind.
Now you're on his list too.
Oh man. Okay, well, so sorry, Justin. Yeah, exactly. So, Justin, I retract my shout out. I'm just kidding. We love you, Justin, and we wish you were here with us for sure. And yeah, Jesse says it's good to see and hear all of you. And Tom had also mentioned that it's great to hear some great music on a gray day, and also missing his bandmates. And I have to say, during this time of quarantine, Nate, you're in California. The rest of you, the rest of the bands here in Minnesota, obviously you can't get together outside, even if you were willing to brave the snow to play together. How are you guys are you guys doing like Zoom band rehearsals or sending tracks back and forth, or are you guys just on trying to take a break and write?
We've done honestly a little of all of those things. I'd say we've done some Zoom meetings, and then thrown out some song ideas. Like Kevin wants to work on a song or a cover, and I figured out the chords and we set it out there. Kevin, you've been practicing that one, right?
Oh, every day.
Okay, good. But honestly, as much as we've been partying for 20 straight years, it's not bad to have a little bit of time off. My hands and shoulders are all right now with that. But I literally am sitting here teaching guitar lessons and trombone lessons all day. I've been teaching a lot of lessons, more so just all online. So if anybody needs lessons, hit me up. And I've been jamming with some friends here and there, and we've got even some neighbors that are doing music and stuff. So, Nate
will send tune ideas, or send drafts of songs, or So we're and we're trying to make plans for when and if and how we may be able to do what this band does best, which is play music together on a stage live somewhere.
Speaking of which, one of the goals, the missions of the Back Catalog Listening Party is to give you a platform to get in front of your fans and to make new ones who want to hear your music continue, want to hear the next record, and want to support you. So for all of you out there that want to hear the next Pert Near Sandstone record, we've got a PayPal link and a Venmo handle in the comments. Fill up their tip jar or head on over to their website, pertnearsandstone.com, and you can pick up awesome vinyl. They just released a record not too long ago. So much good music right now is just kind of at a standstill, and I really think it's for all the bands, just hearing from their fans, hearing from you guys out there, in the with a little change in the can or maybe a purchase of an album, goes a long way to kind of keeping that moving forward.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate any help we can get, and yeah, it's a heck of a year for us to release our first album in the last 3 or 4 years. So
in June.
Yeah, just imagine.
Brilliant.
Just imagine. I mean, hey, we're not the only ones. Everybody in the world's going through this, right?
Yeah.
So, and next year, once everything is going, I mean, imagine how crazy it's going to be. There's going to be
it's going to be nuts.
so many festivals and so many shows, and so.
Well, speaking of festivals, you guys also put together a big festival every year in the Eau Claire area, the Blue Ox Music Festival, which has really grown into something huge. I mean, I don't know if you guys were envisioning this when you started it, but now, I mean, it's like an all-star, all kind of Americana roots music festival. I mean, you've had like the biggies, like Del McCurry and like Sam Bush and like all these
all of our favorites that we can get.
I was gonna say so. And I know this year, obviously, it did not happen. At least not in the way it's happened before. Are you guys making plans for next year?
Yeah,
we are.
I think they even released the dates recently.
Yeah, they moved it to August this next year to give time for inoculations and everything that might happen between now and.
I just go there for the banjo workshops.
Nate's
inoculate from the banjo.
Nate's going to be in Minnesota and Wisconsin between June and July, making house calls with these inoculations.
Yeah, inoculation.
We've been working on this thing. It's called the Pert Near Cure. You can find it on our website next week.
Well, God, I'm praying August next year. This is all a memory, and we're getting back together and playing music. We all miss it so much, and this is so great to have you guys here today and to listen to this music together. It's the next best thing. It's not anywhere near the live experience, but man, it sure is great to kind of revisit some of this wonderful art that's already been created. So
Yeah,
thank
and
you guys.
we seldomly listen to our own albums anymore, so it's fun to revisit
Yeah,
these.
totally.
Like, oh, that actually doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah. I think just Justin, he's probably, wherever he is right now at work, he's probably just listening to Pert Near.
All the time.
Well, speaking of listening to Pert Near, I think
Yeah.
it's time to listen to some more Pert Near.
Yes.
The next track we have lined up here is The Long Decline.
Oh,
Is
cool.
there anything that you guys want to say about this track?
Well, it ties together some of what Jay was mentioning. I mean, this is a song that kind of was rattling around in my head for a long time, and I, had like various stints of trying to finish it, and I couldn't really put a form together for it. I kind of knew that there was like these parts, and that like even what they sounded like, but didn't quite know how to knit it together. And so Jay helped me put together, a form and kind of think through how to count by numbers of different groups.
It's a tricky song. It's a tricky
I
count on
teach
this
music, so this is.
Well, I was not an easy nut to crack. I know that.
But Kevin writes some really brilliant stuff. Accidentally, he comes up with some really brilliant stuff
completely by accident.
musically.
If there's any break.
kind of crooked forms. Yeah.
Oh, and I truly love this song because it's set 3 sets of 3. It's a great song. I really love it.
I agree with
Not like
that.
it's a surprise. Kevin writes really great songs.
And you folks are in for a treat. You're going to hear it right now. This is The Long Decline from Pert Near Sandstone on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
It's the same old story. It'll all be fine. Pull yourself together. Try to walk the line. Rain's been slowly coming. Rising's gone dark. Haven't been preparing, but it ain't too late to start. We're on the backside of a long decline. Must have been blind to the great compromise. Let it wash through me, pretend I don't mind. But everything changes, just give it some time. Got up to work this morning, trapped again it seems. Don't mean that I'll surrender these unforgotten dreams. Hard to keep it steady, but it'll never show. Hanging on so loosely, never letting go. We're on the backside of a long decline. Must have rearview mirror. Gonna take us back in time. I can almost see it in my mind's eye. But my mind's bound to wander, no matter how I try. 'Cause we're on the backside of a long decline. Must have been blind to the great compromise. Let it wash through me and pretend I don't mind. 'Cause everything changes, just give it some time.
All right, Pert Near Sandstone with the long decline from their 2011 release Paradise Hop. And before, Tony, you take away that album cover, I want to talk with them about this beautiful cover art. We actually had a question during this week on Facebook. Actually, Lisa Fugly from Monroe Crossing, who's been a guest here on the show, she actually was commenting on the artwork and how beautiful it was. And I wanted to... Week on Facebook, actually, Lisa Fugly. Ooh. I wanted to make sure that you guys had a chance to talk about it and, of course, hear me more than once. That nice echo of my voice. Yeah, tell us a little bit about this really unique artwork.
Well, I'm not sure where we got in contact with the artist, Jim Reichel.
Oh,
John,
yeah.
right?
John Reichel, yeah.
Or John Reichel, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's
I
an
think
amazing designer, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was Mark Gearing.
I think it was our manager, Mark, who put us in touch with him.
Yeah. And yeah, and I mean, I wish I could say that I knew, like, we had some kind of big influence on the. It's just like so cool.
Yeah.
I know. I wish I could say something smarter about it too, but.
Oh, you could have made up anything, and we would have all been like, "Yeah."
Stuff about that. Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, yeah, there you go. Like, check out his artwork. It's really, really, really awesome stuff.
Yeah, I really liked the kind of collage elements that it brings in. Like, it's just kind of has some random elements that are put together, and it, creates a story kind of all in and of itself. And we gave him zero direction. We didn't critique it at all. We just said, like, it's great. I don't know, like, what I'm not, I can't do anything better. This is awesome.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's got some old time elements. It's got like some
Americana kitsch too in there.
Yeah,
and yeah,
I love it.
Kind of the diner thing, and then but the tree, and then the baby face or something,
or creepy doll. I don't know, something.
Creepy doll. Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed the kind of surrealistic image of it. So I was like, it's good. It's great.
Yeah. I wish I knew, like, more of a, other than we just, like, really liked his work, and, like, we're very happy to have him help design this. So
yeah, definitely.
I did want to give a shout out to that pedal steel on that song.
I was going to ask about that. I'm glad you are.
That's a Jed Germond.
Oh yeah.
A lot of musicians around town know him because he fixes fiddles and banjos and mandolins and guitars, and he actually has one of my guitars right now. But everybody
the best luthier anywhere.
He's a
anywhere
fine luthier
in town. Yeah, and you're here.
We'll give everybody his address and whatever.
He'd love that. He's been featured on probably like 2 or 3 albums, I think, on our show.
A lot, and he's very shy about playing. He doesn't get out and play much, but he does get out and play, a lot more in the old time circles a little bit. But yeah, he's mostly just.
I've seen him play with someone named Anthony Ihrig before.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, for those who've heard the intro music here, and you hear that sweet little mandolin lick, that's all Jed, man.
Yeah.
He's equally talented on the pedal steel, the mandolin, the fiddle. He's just he's a hoss, man.
He was kind of an unofficial member of our band for a while. He's played on our records. He's played mandolin and fiddle and pedal steel. and we've taken him on the road with us before. And yeah,
Yep.
you always have to kind of tease him out of his house, but he's he's one of my favorite instrumentalists in the bluegrass genre. In the Twin
Me too.
Cities.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that pedal steel just sounded so perfect on that song, like that texture that can create. Where was that, in the arrangement process? Like, was it just like, there's just something there? Because sometimes that pedal steel could be a fiddle or a dobro, but sometimes it just has to be a pedal steel. Was that like an inspiration? How did that come about?
Kevin is in his Uncle Tupelo phase. During that.
I was listening to the Birds. And and I don't know, he was probably working on my banjo, and I was like, gotta find somebody that can play some pedal steel. And he's like, I could play some pedal steel. What are you doing? Recording an album, and I could see in his brain, he's like, oh damn it, what did I just get myself into?
Jed was like 65 years old when he was 20 years old.
That's right.
His lips don't move
Jed.
while these internal things are happening, but I'm sure he was in his head like, why did I say anything?
And he probably did that in like 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah. He's like, and he walked out, and he's like, I'm sorry.
We just like, well, do another one, because it's not right to just do that right the first time.
He's like, I'm sorry, guys, at the end. I remember he's like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm like, for what? He's like, well, that was garbage. You'll have to figure something else out to do there. That's not gonna work.
A humble
like,
man.
wow, no, that was really good.
Yeah, for sure. That's Jed in a nutshell.
Are we? Is this cut off at an hour, or do we? If we go over?
Well, since we do have a special after party for our Patreon supporters at 5, we probably only have time for one more song here.
I didn't want to hurry it along or anything, but
no. So we definitely want to make
for
sure.
Another hour, personally.
Just about Jed. Maybe we have a special episode.
Yes, I like it. I'll be there.
We'll have like a Zoom discussion about Jed, and we'll decide whether we invite Jed or not, or whether we just talk about how
Feel free
great
to
he
invite
is.
him. He's not.
Wait, you think he's going to be online?
No.
We'll sneak
Anyway.
over. He's got his little shed out back. We'll sneak over there.
I can go do it live from his shed with him.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We love Jed. We love Jed here.
So I think the next song we're going to do is 20 Cups of Coffee. Is that right?
Yes.
And so is there anything you want to say about it before we dive into it?
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, this one.
It does, yeah.
And I do actually. I was talking to Liz about this earlier. Like I do have this. I kind of weirdly I wrote this one when we were on the road, and I was hungover. I remember because I wasn't driving, so I do a lot of the driving, but I don't do the driving when I'm hungover. And I mean, I was just not feeling well that day. And I remember we were driving through Chicago, and I don't mention Chicago in this at one bit, I know, but I just have that distinct memory of like, just kind of with my feet up and like watching the skyline of Chicago in the band van, and just thinking about, oh man, we drink a lot of coffee in the band. We drink a lot of beers in the band, just like, coffee, beer, blah, blah, blah. And then, hey, Gano. And then,
Yes.
And then, I remember I definitely wrote this one mostly just in the back of our van, when we were on the road. And it's just kind of about hard driving, hard partying, having fun. Too much coffee, too much beer, kind of our lifestyle.
Excellent.
Maybe it's the Pert Near Cure.
We'll be inoculating.
When I think about Pert Near Sandstone, when I first met you guys so many years ago, this is what I think of, and I don't know, there's just something about your band that just I don't know, makes me feel young again, and let's all go on this trip, Jay, and 20 cups of coffee on the back catalog listening card.
I'm done with all this worrying about what people say. I'll take one more whiskey and I'll be on my way. Make that 2 eyes, think I'm gonna stay. That White Iron Band, they've got a few more songs to play. Now I don't worry about what day it is. Out all night, drinking with my friends. Doesn't feel late, but the sun's already up. Now I don't have any doubt I will make it without 20 cups of coffee in the morning. One for every beer I had last night. Hell with what they say, I'm living my life my own way. And I'm working every day and I'm alright. Yeah, 20 cups of coffee. the highway, time to cannonball it home. And living ain't the same when you've been living on the road. Driving through the night, got only one more state to go. Been all around this country and there's one thing that I know. The Minnesota's where I wanna be. Pretty girls as far as you can see. Take my hand, stay out all night with me. Don't tell me that you drink just tea. Let's go drink 20 cups of coffee in the morning. One for every beer I had last night. Hell with what they say, I'm living my life my own way. And I'm working every day and I'm alright. Yeah, 20 cups of coffee in the morning. Only way I'll make it 9 to 5. Sleep is for the dead, I don't even own a bed. I drink coffee now instead, I'm alright. So here's to everyone who's out there living for today. Here's to pulling all-nighters and powering through the day. Out there working double shifts cause you got bills to pay. Only got one life to live, at least that's what they say. Call me crazy, call me what you will. I ain't lazy, just ain't at my fill. Feeling hazy till that coffee's spilled. That first cup of the day and I'll be on my way. To 20 cups of coffee in the morning. One for every beer I had last night. Hell with what they say, I'm living my life my own way. And I'm working every day and I'm alright. Yeah, 20 cups of coffee in the morning. Only way I'll make it 9 to 5. Sleep is for the dead, I don't even own a bed. I drink coffee now instead and I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm alright.
Yes. Well, I'm feeling all right after that. That was Pert Near Sandstone, 20 Cups of Coffee from their 2011 release, Paradise Hop, which we've been enjoying today on Back Catalog Listening Party with 3 of the members of the band. And I can count this time, even it's because I caffeinated during that song. And I do want to remind folks that they can buy this album if they, again, we are broadcasting in stereo now on YouTube, but still, if you want a really high audio experience, a high audiophile experience of this album, you can buy it on CD or vinyl through their website. Obviously, it's on the streaming platforms as well. But such good stuff.
Get the vinyl.
And,
Get the
yeah,
vinyl.
Get the vinyl.
The vinyl's also a double LP, if I remember correctly. There's like there's 4 or 5 bonus tracks on the vinyl.
Yeah, the
Awesome.
D side is all like rarities. Yeah,
Excellent.
And if you
There you go,
need
another
I
reason.
I can put it on a cassette tape for you.
Yeah,
Jade has special orders only.
I've got a few Maxells left in the hopper. So.
Excellent. Well, this has been so much fun.
Oh,
I'm so
man.
glad that you all for tuning in, and to Nate and Jay and Kevin for joining us today. This has been a hoot and a half to have you guys here and to
Yeah.
talk about this record. So fun.
Thank you
Thanks for
guys so
having us.
much.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
And
Blast.
I do want to mention that we have 2 things. One is next week we have Tracy Grammer, who's going to be on the show. So excited. I'm a huge fan of hers, and she will be joining us next Friday. And if you want to know more about upcoming guests, then you can and also participate in our after parties. We're actually going to be hopping over to Zoom shortly with these guys for some of our top level Patreon supporters. And if you want to support the show, get in on some of these cool special events, get the inside scoop, you can join our Patreon. The link is there. And we want to thank our current Patreon supporters, Penny, Ann, Alinda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Galen, and Peggy. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. And to all of you out there, if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend. We're doing this every Friday at 4.
You know what? It's already winter here in Minnesota, and there is nothing on my calendar except
This.
4 p.m. Central Time every week.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell all of you out there, thank you so much for joining us every week. And once again, I want to thank you guys in Pert Near Sandstone for just brightening up my whole week. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I just everything feels right in the world, at least for this 1 hour, and I appreciate
Tony.
it.
Yeah, thanks for having
Any
us.
excuse to hang out with these fellas.
Definitely get Mond on here.
Yeah,
We'll be back.
He has a lot of things to explain.
We'll just do like a roast. We'll just do a roast.
I think we have. Yeah, we've got a good start here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you back next week here on YouTube for the Back Catalog Listening Party. And for those Patreon supporters, we'll see you over at that Zoom link that you were sent earlier in a minute.
Maybe we can get that extra song in.
Yeah.
So another reason to join the Patreon. You get bonus material. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you next week on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.